the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
All right, here we go. Welcome to Marriage Unhindered. I'm your host, Doug Hinderer, licensed marriage and family therapist. I think Thursdays are my favorite days for the show. I get so excited, and you heard that little chuckle in the background. It's Thursday. That means Monica's here. Licensed clinical professional counselor. And I wrote it down again so I could remember it. So the first email I want to knock out. So listen, so she says, every Christmas since getting married 7 years ago is a struggle for me. My mom has had to adjust to not everyone making it on Christmas Day. We are a family of 10. Only 2 are married so far, 2 kids each. My mom's whole identity for years has been her children. And sadly, she has felt she's had to rely on us to feel loved. My mom and dad have been struggling in their marriage for years. Anyway, every year I feel guilty for not being there on the day. I assume she means Christmas Day. And this year I live just down the road from my in-laws, and more than likely I will be seeing them later in the day on Christmas. I always want to be fair, but often I have no choice. What we've been doing for years is Christmas Day at home and then go visit my parents during the Christmas season, usually close to New Year's. But they usually have plans, so it ends up not happening. I really feel they think if I can't make Christmas, they don't want us to come at all. My mom has confronted me about it to the point that one year I did not feel welcome when I tried to come a week before when my brother's kids were there and let my parents see their grandchildren. She couldn't understand how I couldn't come Christmas Eve day and head back that day. I realize it's hard emotionally, but I can't mess up my family unit with going against my husband at ruining what's supposed to be a peaceful time. I guess I just wondered if we're doing things the right way. A side note, my family doesn't really approve of the way my husband thinks or the way he likes to teasingly argue. He is really respectful, but my family, mainly the women, get offended by him for such small, meaningless things. That also makes it hard to visit because I'm always worried that he's going to set someone off when he's only saying what he thinks or just being playful. Though, to be honest, he gets irritated with them too, kind of like any family member. LOL. I hope this makes sense and you can summarize the problem. I feel like I've rambled. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Thanks. So, yeah, I this is a tough situation, of course, and especially a lot of young couples face this, where both sets of parents are still around and they both want you there on Christmas and they put a lot of pressure on you to show up. I think you're doing it the right way. The family you are building with your husband takes priority over your family of origin. And over the in-laws as well, right? And that's why Jesus says, a man leaves his father and mother and clings to his wife, right? Well, the wife has to do the same. Cling to your husband and leave your mother and father as well. And your parents should understand that and support you in that. But it's not unusual for the parents to unfairly put pressure on their married children to show up. Let me be clear, right? This is your mother's problem, not yours. We call this enmeshment, where the family of origin, generally the mother or father, they don't let the kids go. They keep them wrapped up in the family dynamic, even though they're adults and they should be living their own life. This is, I think, your mom's problem. So I suggest you talk with your mother, or perhaps write her a letter, not a text message, a letter, all right? And I think the letter goes something like this, or the message goes something like this. Mom, I love you, and I never want to do anything that would hurt you. But I feel, anxious or unsettled. I mean, I lose my peace when you put pressure on me to show up on Christmas Day. I would like to ask you to please understand that I must now prioritize my husband and our children and the family that we're building. I very much want to see you and Dad, and then go on with whoever you want. So I'd like to come visit before or after or on this day or whatever, okay? And please realize this is not a reflection of my love for you, but of my need to build a life with my young family, okay? So I think that's how you need to handle it. I think you're doing it the right way, but communicate with your mom in a loving way. The pressure that she's demanding of you, but realize this is her struggle, not yours. Any thoughts on that, Monica?
No, I mean, I think you nailed it. I think we could have an entire episode that talks about enmeshment, which is, essentially these blurred boundaries between these individuals. And one of the hardest parts is parents can easily do this to their children, but one of the things is that one of the false things that a child takes away is that they are responsible for not only their parents' feeling, but for the solution. When the reality is, right? But the reality is, what are we in control of? The only thing I'm in control of are my emotions and my reactions, right? My actions and reactions. And so mom's disappointment is hers, and it's not my responsibility to fix or change it. It's hers to deal with and hers to change. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't be empathetic and have really great conversations, but that's something that when we see a young couple starting to create their own family, or even amongst the holidays where who's going where, we kind of have to keep that in mind, that as long as I'm operating from a place of charity and respect and kindness in my words and my language and so forth, I have to be okay with the fact that my decisions may bring up an emotional reaction for someone else, and that's theirs, it's not mine, and I won't take it as mine. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, I like that. And I think, you just got to have a conversation with you, sit down and say, Mom, I love you, but you need to understand where I'm coming from on this. And I hope you do. And if she doesn't, well, that's on her, not on you. But you have a nice, gentle conversation with her and make sure she knows that you love her. This entire episode of Marriage Unhindered is on the updated Relevant Radio app. The Relevant Radio app is completely free and updated daily with fresh articles, podcasts, and prayers.